Welcome to Chris Strub Unmuted. I'm Chris Strub, and today we're talking about luck. You start to realize that luck is really a construct of the decisions that you make. This is Chris Strub Unmuted, a show designed for open dialogue, honest reflection, and uncensored truths about the lives that we lead. Today, we're talking about luck, and it is March. It is the season of luck after we wrapped up February and our season of love. And I couldn't get through the month of March without speaking for just a few minutes about how lucky I am and how lucky we all are, if you are watching, listening to this, to be alive, to be where we are, to be who we are, to be among the people that we are among, to have the job that we have. All of these things, all of these things that we are thankful for every single day are in some way a product of being lucky. But if you have been a loyal listener and you listened to one of the very first episodes that I recorded for season 1 and talked about manifestation, I want you to think carefully as you listen to this episode about the intersectionality of manifestation and luck, and understand that, yes, while a lot of us believe in a higher power and that higher power's ability to configure us and to put us in the places and the spaces and among the people that we are around, these decisions come down to you and what's in your heart, and what you decide to do with your life is entirely up to you. So when I look around and I look at this house, I look at the medals and things and the accomplishments that I've had that are hanging on my wall. I look outside and see the happiest puppy in the world out there enjoying another beautiful sunny day here in Greenville, South Carolina. All of those things, the house, the accomplishments, the dog, everything comes down to decisions that you make in your life. And I think back about how in college, how lucky I was to have someone like Mary Haupt as a professor and as a mentor for many years into my first job out of college at the Press and Sun Bulletin in Binghamton, New York. But was that luck, or was that a decision that I made in junior high school, into high school, and into college to go work at the Dispatch, to go work at Pipe Dream in college, to go work at the Press and Sun Bulletin? Was it luck? Sure. But hell, were they lucky to have me there too? Yeah. And as time passed by, you start to realize that luck is really a construct of the decisions that you make. And yes, some of us are luckier than others to be born into certain circumstances. I don't know what you think of me. I don't know what you think of Chris Strub, but I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I was born with a wonderful pair of parents. Unfortunately, they got divorced a few years after I was born, and then my sister was born. So grew up in a house of divorce, but grew up in two houses really filled with love, right? So talk about the luck factor. The luck comes from having Charlie Strub and Jane Strub as my parents. But that manifestation element, those choices that I made, started as far back as I can remember: elementary school, junior high school, into college. And especially as you get into your 20s, your 30s, and now I'm in my 40s. I'm not going to say I'm in my 40s. I am 40. I don't think your 40s start until you have multiple 40s under your belt, right? So I think that'll be the lucky way that I frame this moving forward. I'm not in my 40s. I am 40 for now. But we think about the luck that we have along our career. And I hope that this podcast reaches, college students and post-grad students and younger people who feel like they're at their own crossroads and are trying to figure out what they're doing with their lives and what you're doing with your life, right? No matter what age you are, whether you're a teenager, 20s, 30s, 40 period. So Jake, if you're listening, exactly 40. This podcast is probably going to come out on my buddy Jake's birthday. So happy birthday, Jake. Turning the big 40. You should use that too. I'm not in my 40s. I am 40, right? But 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you still have that free will and that choice to do what you want to do in your life. You make those decisions. And thankfully, over the last, 20 years, I think I've gotten better at thinking about my own decision-making and putting myself in these positions where, yeah, it feels like luck, but that luck is construct of the hard work that you put in. I'm going to Miami in a couple weeks to do High Rocks with my buddy Jake. And when we succeed in that event, we're not going to win the event by any means, but when we do well in that event, it is a product of the hard work that we put in along the way. It's not luck. You're not lucky to go out there and post a good time. You're not lucky to succeed. The luck comes in a summation of all of the hard work and the justifiable decisions that you make as your days go by. And you know what? For all the good luck that I think I've had in my life, there are still things that I wish I could be luckier about. I've said it many times. I'd like to get married. I'd like to have kids. I'd like to be a dad at some point. So maybe there's more luck to be had for me, but I think I'm in that process now of compiling those good decisions to get me to that point where that luck feels like it finally materializes. And it's looking more and more like it might not materialize in March of 2026. But when it does, I'm not going to credit love to luck. I'm going to credit love to an accumulation of trying to just be the best person that I can be moving forward. And I hope that you think and feel the same way. This is a difficult world to live in these days. And we have a bit of a shorter turnaround for this month's podcast recording. So shout out to Jeff and Max. I will admit that one reason why the podcast is delayed this month, this is going to sound so childish and naive and miserable, but we had about a 3-week period of Mercury in retrograde that ended the other day. And so quite honestly, I felt a lot better since this past Sunday. We're recording on March 24th. And I usually record in the beginning of the month. I couldn't bring myself to do it this month. So keep an eye on that too, as this year goes on and the podcast rolls and rolls and rolls. When Mercury hits retrograde, maybe just send your boy a message and encourage me to open up, record something, share something, because my communications were definitely garbled. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you feel the effects of retrograde when it hits? Because I definitely do and definitely did. I don't feel it now. I actually feel great, which is why I cracked a C4, a frozen bomb today, Old Faithful, and down the hatch we go. I want you to leave this episode and this season thinking about how lucky you are. And this will be episode 2. This is the season finale of Chris Chubb Unmuted for this month. Hopefully you also listened to episode 1, where I had a great conversation with ChatGPT about how I'm using AI to build out my business. And honestly, guys, I guess I'm still a somewhat early adapter of the implementation of AI. I'm not going to stand on the rooftops and scream about how fantastic it is and transformational and all that. I'm not one of those folks that's going to, post on LinkedIn twice a day about how amazing AI has been. But I do think if you listen to that episode, I want you to also recognize how lucky we are to live in a day and age where a tool like that can exist to help someone like you build your business, help determine your future, help ease some of the day-to-day tasks and things that you work on. One thing that I love using AI for is data analysis. I'm a huge data guy, always have been. I've got this crazy spreadsheet of all of my Orange Theory classes and all the half marathons that I've run. And I've got data on all the giving days that I've produced over the years. And AI is really going to help me through the rest of this year and beyond, analyze that data and understand where opportunities rise and or lay, and where certain valuable insights that I can pull and I can use for these conversations that will seemingly preclude some of the good luck that I know is coming my way. Look, it's been a difficult 2026 for me and for all of us. For all different reasons. I am definitely looking for more opportunities for contractual work through the spring, summer, and fall of 2026. So please keep in touch if you want to work together this year. I'm very, very proud of what we accomplished last week with Make-A-Wish South Carolina at their annual Wish Night event. It was amazing. They raised more than $1.2 million. And my presence there, again, was, it felt, it might seem on the surface that you're lucky. Chris Strub, you're so lucky to get invited to participate and help raise the profile of an event like Wish Night. Look, it's not luck. It's manifestation. It's hard work. It's critical decision-making that puts you in conversations with the right people at the right time and about the right things. It's really preparation. It's years of experience and determination and compassion. And for me, a big secret ingredient is wanting to do work in my life that leaves a positive impact on the world. I'm a very lucky man, very lucky to be able to do the things that I love to do. And if you're lucky enough to have found this podcast and to have listened all the way through, please know that you are also in a similarly lucky spot in your life. No matter where you are, no matter how old you are, no matter what you're doing right now, it's never too late to grab hold of your future and to do the things and have the experiences that you love and make you feel lucky. But it's up to you to make the decisions that are going to get you to that point. Thanks for listening to Chris Strub Unmuted. Support the show by clicking like and subscribe. Keep up with me on social media at Chris Strub and follow my lovely dog at Link the Mountain Cur on social media as well. And remember, until next month and next season, we are all famous to a few people.